Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to Pretty Little Garden. Today is a beautiful October morning, and it's the end of October. We're near the end of October, and I haven't done much fall cleanup. I really need to get moving. The things that I need to do to button up for winter. I haven't gotten to those things yet. So today is the day. I have most of the morning that I can dedicate out here in the garden, and I thought I would take you along with me as we appreciate all that this day has to offer. It's a beautiful day. The sun is shining, but it's quite windy. You can see all of my plants kind of blowing around behind me. I think it's going to be about 74 degrees today, and it's very breezy but beautiful. So I, you know, don't have a plan. And this is kind of part of my personality. I plan and yet I don't plan. So I'm out here and I know I have to get some things done, but I don't know exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to survey the scene. I'm going to look around and see what I want to, get into, and I will take you along with me. So let's go. My husband has kind of collected all of my pots, all of my annual pots, and lined them up on the back patio for me to address. So here they all are. As you can see, there's some perennials in there, some annuals, and aren't they still looking just so beautiful? I really think they are. Look at this grass. Look at how it changes colors. The yellow color of the blades, and then the brown plumes coming up. That's a perennial. Don't know the variety, but loving this. Got to figure out if I'm going to keep that in the pot or if I'm going to transplant it out into the landscape. I still have my purple pillar Rose of Sharon that I need to figure out where I'd like to put that. And look at my petunias. They're still looking pretty amazing. Just coming around here, my hummingbird loving container. It's finally kind of kicked the bucket. The Vermillionaire, it got nipped by the last frost. You can see everything's kind of coming apart. But I have to tell you that, oh gosh, I'm going to forget the name of this plant. Osteospermum, that's what it is. I think this is the purple Zion Osteospermum. And I had another Osteospermum back. I'll show you in just a few minutes. But look at this one is a new bloom that's trying to open up. Now, I have to read up on the osteospermum because they seem to be really thriving in the colder weather. And I don't really recall reading about that when I, planted it out. But that's definitely a plant that I will repeat next year. Let's see. You can see, oh wow, there's some Nemesia in there that's still looking kind of good. There's my gardening friend, Lucy. Hey, Lou. Lou, say good morning. Good morning. Good morning in the garden, right? You love when I come out here and spend the morning, because then you spend the morning with me. And we enjoy the fresh air and the sunshine. And look at all the beautiful leaves on the ground. I am appreciating all of these beautiful leaves. Look at that. There's just so much to be thankful for in life. And I see so much of that when I look at nature. Just gorgeous. I also see over here this pure white butterfly from Proven Winners. It's still kind of trying to hang on, but we're going to be getting rid of that as well. But that did pretty good in this container. And my lantana finally stopped. Oh no, there's still some blooms. Still some blooms in there. See, look at that. That one was kind of protected, so it's still kind of blooming. Just beautiful. Beautiful. This is my other, what I called hummingbird loving container. And I just wanted to show you the osteospermum over on this side. Look at how gorgeous it still looks. And this is October 30th here in zone 6B. We've already had a couple of frosty mornings, and I think this was just tucked right in the right place. I also think this osteospermum just likes cooler weather. I'm going to have to read up a little bit on the osteospermum, but I really did love this plant. I can hear some birds flying around. There's still lots of birds. There's lots of birds that stay here for the winter, which is exciting because then I can just continue feeding them. But even look over here. Look at this osteospermum coming up right over here. All of this vermilion area is kind of spent, and you can see it's all coming off of the stems, but it has like 1, 2, 3, 4 buds on it ready to open up. I've never planted osteospermum, and I'm really loving that plant, and I want to explore different color options for next year. And here you can see I have some more annuals and perennials, some of my summer pots that are still holding on. Let's see if I can get out of my way here so you can see. But oh my goodness, look at that calibrachoa still holding on. The creeping Jenny, of course, is doing well in the cold weather. That blue mohawk grass. I'm coming down the way here. This lemon cypress, that should be coming inside, and I just haven't done it yet, but I think because it's been tucked in next to the house, it's been doing pretty good. And here's just some more things that I need to address. I have these echinacea here that I need to put somewhere. This beautiful red mum, that's going to stay put. I just tucked it in there, and that's where it's living for this fall season. And again, the calibrachoa, the Goodnight Kiss calibrachoa. Beautiful. And the bicolor snaptini, which is like a miniature snapdragon. And the violet night from Proven Winners. That's looking gorgeous. And again, that lemon cypress. That lemon cypress is doing pretty good. Makes me not want to do anything today. Okay, I think I'm going to get into this pot first. Look, guys, I treated myself to a garden answer kneeling pad. These are amazing. They're so soft, and I love that they're so huge. Let me show you what I've been working with. This is what I've been using, and it's been okay, but I have to move it constantly because it's not very big. So I was kind of excited to treat myself to one of these. I'm going to get rid of this pure white butterfly first. And I definitely think I'm going to need my Hori. Oh yeah. Let me get my Hori to dig through some of this. This is some osteospermum here too. Whew. This is going to be a fight. This is going to be a fight today. I can feel it. All right, where's my Hori? Okay, it was right in front of me. It was right in front of me on the ground. Okay, this is my very dirty Hori gardening knife, which I have had for about a year now, and I have found very helpful in the garden. I know it's going to be a help in this container because everything is rooted in pretty well, so I'm going to need this serrated edge blade to cut through those roots and help me get some of these annuals out. So I'll link it in the description box if anyone is interested. Okay. Okay, I think I'm going to just trim down some of my vinca vine and either just put it in a pot and try to overwinter it or just pop it into the ground. I think it does overwinter. I'm in zone 6B. Actually, I think this will overwinter. I might just pop this in the ground somewhere in my garden so I can have some for next year. I have so much this year because they were all $1 a piece, so I really, bought a ton. So I'm going to just pop some into the garden and hopefully it'll overwinter. Okay, I'm just alongside my shed here, and I think this might be a good place to sort of build up my vinca vine stash so I can have an abundance for next year as well. So I think I'm just gonna kind of plant them all in this general area. And they'll be protected. So it's actually a great spot to store stuff right along with the shed here. It's nice and protected. Perfect. I think I'm going to place my purple pillar rose of Sharon right in the corner here, tucked in the corner next to the little lime hydrangea and right behind the over the moon astilbe. I think it'll get some nice sun in that area and be able to grow tall and fill out that space with lots of blooms. Yay, I made a decision. On here, it is extremely windy today. Just the wind has continually picked up. So that's made filming a tad difficult. But I've managed to get some clips here and there. I'm going to be working on this pot next, disassembling it. And I'll find a spot for that grass. Okay, managed to get this grass out, and it's definitely root bound. It was in just this watering can pot, and I'm going to break up these roots and then find a spot for it in my garden. Hi everyone, it's a new day today. I'm back out in my garden again today. I did get a few things done the last time we were together. That was was it third? No, it was Wednesday. It was Wednesday the 30th. And then Halloween, the morning of Halloween, it's been just extremely windy. Even the day that I was outside on the 30th, it was so unenjoyably windy. It just made me want to not be out there and not videotape. I did stay outside for a couple of hours, did get some work done and did take some clips, but my camera kept falling over. It was just, it was not as enjoyable as I would have liked it to be. So the next day I, wanted to get outside and I took some clips. It was just even windier. So I said to myself, I'm not going to do this, not on this extremely windy day. Today is Friday, November 1st. So here I am again. I'm going to get outside and continue chipping away at all the things that I still have left to do. Still making my way through my annual plant pots, and I'm chipping away at it each and every day. It'll get done eventually. I still feel like I have quite a bit to do, but that's okay. I'm not going to stress about it. I have not felt as motivated to close things down this year. And I just think, things were looking so good still into this month, still into November, like my osteospermum that I showed you the other day. I'm just looking over at that now and it's shining in that pot. So I may have to take everything else out but that osteospermum. And I was reading about it, and it is a cool, I think they called it a cool annual, the osteospermum. So, I know in the summertime, it bloomed initially when I first planted it, and then it kind of petered out for a little while. It looked a little, overwhelmed by the sun and the heat. And then as summer started to settle down and, the fall temperatures came, that osteospermum just came alive and opened up and bloomed, and it's really looking gorgeous. So it's definitely a flower and a plant that I will repeat again in my garden next year, and maybe consider those for a fall combination because they do so well. That might be something when I shop my garden that I will pop into my fall planters. So let's get started in the garden together. You can see I did empty that hummingbird container there. Got my pop-up bag that's kind of almost filled, and this is still what I've yet left to do. This is my peachberry ice primo heuchera that I think I'm going to leave in. It's in this nice pot right here, and I think it's done so well in this pot. So I think I'm going to just place it somewhere in the yard for next year, and I'm just going to leave the foliage as is. I mean, look at how gorgeous this peachberry ice primo heuchera is. This is a Proven Winners heuchera or coral bells. Let me step away a little bit so you can get a better look at that. But we're just going to place that in the garden, and I will probably just leave it as is and trim it down in the springtime. And I kind of liked how they performed in the pot. I also have this Proven Winners Fun and Games I Spy heuchera, and this one is getting a little crispy but still looking beautiful with such beautiful fall color. So this is another one that I'm going to leave in this pot and just put it somewhere in my garden to winter over in that pot. Okay, now I'm going to focus my attention on this red geranium that has been sitting in this pot for most of the summer and did really well. It's in a pot with some asparagus fern, and this is some diamond frost euphorbia, which I can probably just, all right, easily pull out there. Let's see if I can get that before we get started, because that's pretty easy to pull out. And I'll just get rid of that. Anyways, we've already had a couple of frosts here in my Zone 6B Western New York garden. So I thought, oh boy, I think I'm too late with trying to overwinter my geranium, but I'm going to give it a try, and I think it'll be okay because it's been in this pot, but it's really been like snugged in by this asparagus fern, which really has done wonderful all season. So I figured, okay, even with the frosts that we've had, it doesn't look too bad and the leaves are still green. So I'm thinking that I could just give it a shot. I'm just going to do the overwintering in the paper bag method, which is basically just digging out your geranium. Hi, Lucy. Getting rid of the garden soil, just shaking it free from the garden potting soil, and then putting it in a brown paper grocery bag, and I'm going to store it probably in my basement. And it says, I think it said to store it between 40 to 50 degrees Fahrenheit. So maybe I wouldn't store it in my basement now that I'm thinking about it. Probably my shed or my garage would probably be a better option. So I'm just going to dig out this red geranium and overwinter it in a brown paper bag. I think I'll prune this one little leaf off here too. I'm hoping that it will survive. And this is what it looks like. And I'm just going to put it in a brown paper bag. Okay, I've got it bagged up and labeled, and I've decided I'm going to put it in my shed. Find a spot in my shed. I'm just going to pop it right there. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do is work on some of this asparagus fern, which is not hardy in my zone, but I am going to pot up a little bit of it and see if I can overwinter some. Again, my Hori knife comes in handy. Okay. That's really interesting looking, isn't it? It almost looks like they have like little tubers hanging off of them. That's really kind of cool. Okay, so like I said, I'm going to just pot this up and trim it. I'll probably trim it down, put it in my garage, and see if I can keep this alive over the winter. Look how gorgeous. Look at how beautiful it still looks. I have it potted up here, and I just put some additional potting soil in, and I'm just going to trim this down. And get it ready to go to sleep for the winter. If anyone has overwintered asparagus fern in a lower growing zone, let me know. Were you successful? What was your method? I'm learning each and every day. And I think the best way that I can learn is just by trying something out. If it doesn't work, that's the best lesson, is to do it hands-on approach for me. It almost reminds me of an evergreen yew, the way the needles are, doesn't it? Like when I trim it all up, just kind of reminds me of a yew. And if you think I'm crazy and this will never work, let me know in the comments. Tell me what you think. Okay, there's one, and I'll do this other one too. I think I have to learn a little bit more about asparagus fern. I mean, what are these little things called? They look like little tubers. And look at the roots. Wow. Okay, this one is humongous. Let's see if I can cut around some of this. Well, that's a pretty healthy root system, I would say. I'm just getting some of the soil off of it. And just fill in some of the empty space with some of this old potting mix. Okay, and here's how they turned out. They're both potted up and trimmed back. And there's my clippings, and I changed my mind. I think I'm gonna tuck these away in my shed as well. My shed has some windows, and there's plenty of things in the shed, so I think if I put them in the right spot, I think they'll be tucked in and won't get too cold. And I tucked these two asparagus fern right on this shelf here, and it's right by a window, so it'll get some sun and won't get too cold. So we'll see how they do. Okay, I'm pausing from my pots to clean up this peony. It's just kind of bothering me. It's totally spent and full of powdery mildew. This foliage was actually looking good for most of the season. That's why I left it up, this particular one. Yuck. Okay. I should probably clean my pruners too with some alcohol. I'm kind of going over. Okay, I'll dispose of this foliage and then I'll clean my pruners with some alcohol before moving on.